All right, welcome back to the Range Minded Podcast. Can you believe we are on episode 246? That is absolutely crazy. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about a few things. A few things have been kind of bugging me actually lately. We're going to talk about some crime statistics and how they relate to what we're really seeing. You know, we're hearing crime is down, but is it really? We're going to talk about that. Also, there's something that has been really, really bugging me, and I've tried to just let it slide, but I can't. I gotta get it off my chest. It's bugging the crap out of me, and we need to talk about it because it's important. Anyways, stay tuned to those couple things we're gonna talk about, and we're gonna get in a little bit more, but it's something you need to hear because we're gonna be talking about. Anyways, sorry, I just get so giddy and excited. I just gotta talk about it, right? Calm down, Steve. Calm down. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Range Minded Podcast, episode 246, the gun scare. Anyways, hope you enjoy. All right, welcome back to the Range Minded Podcast. I'm guessing you guys have heard that crime is going down. Right? Crime is going down. Things are getting so much better in the U.S. You need to just calm down. Okay, there's something really bugging me. Hold on. I know you can't see that, but that's a long hair, and it is not mine. I probably should have noticed that before we started the show. Now, what the heck? I lost my groove. No, what we're seeing, like, crime is down, right? We're hearing that all over the left, that crime is dropping. Now, there's some big news or big names on the left side of the universe here that says everything's cool, everything's chill. Like, what are you guys freaking out about? Because crime is going down. Now, let not our eyes deceive us. Are you seeing crime going down in your cities? Despite, I know this is kind of what's the term? I can't think of the term. It's not what, reality maybe or whatever. Yes, it is reality. When you walk down your streets, when you go to Walmart, when you turn on your TV, does crime seem down? Does the world, not so much even the world, does the United States seem safer to you now than when you were a kid? Now, maybe you're about my age. I was born in the late 70s. Yeah, I'm old. I grew up in the 80s, right? Now, granted, I grew up in a really rural community. It was pretty damn safe where I grew up. But I could still see what was going on. We visited other cities. I watched a lot of news, weirdly, as a kid. I was a weird child, I suppose, because I was really involved in news, and I listened to a lot of talk radio as a child. That's probably what's wrong with me. But I knew what was going on in the world around me. I wasn't isolated on this little island of this rural community that I grew up in. I knew what was going on around me. And I knew what crime was like in the 80s. Yeah, we had some problems. You're 100% correct. We had drugs was a big deal. Drinking was a big deal. And we saw that kind of get squashed. We had Mothers Against Drunk Driving and a huge, what was Mrs. Reagan? What was her? Nancy Reagan's push against drugs, right? Big deal. Now it can be debated whether or not the war on drugs has done anything. So we're not talking about that in this show. What I'm getting at is, does crime seem worse now than 10 years ago? I would say yes. I would say that we're seeing a lot more deplorable behavior in the world, and there's a lot of contributing factors. I think having an open border causes a lot of issues. You don't believe me? Look at South Africa. I know that's not the United States, but they've let people flood into their country, unvetted, unfiltered, and they're seeing a lot of chaos. South Africa sees a lot of chaos anyways, but it's really, really bad right now in South Africa. Now, look at what we're seeing in our country with an open border. We're seeing a lot more drugs coming through. We're seeing a lot more violent people getting across the border with no resistance and causing murders, rapes, and other crimes within the United States. We've seen a lot of it. Okay, when I was a kid, maybe it happened and we didn't hear about it. But I'm telling you, in my gut, I know this is for what that's worth. I feel like crime is up. But according to the world at large, the left here, where's my mouse? There it is. See, is this the one I want? Nope, that's the wrong. Let's go here. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. So, it's like I've never used this computer program before. Sorry about that. All right, so this is from the Crime Prevention Research Center. It's super handy to have around. Let me do this here, because why do we have... oh, I deleted my camera. That's great. So, all right. And sorry if I sniffle and I sound a little congested. My allergies, it's pretty early in the year, but my allergies are kicking my butt. So you're going to hear me sniffle and probably sneeze. I can feel a sneeze coming on. As soon as I talk about it, it gets worse. Anyway, let's talk about how crime is being reported in the United States. Now, check this story out. Let me expand this a little bit so it's not so... Good quality entertainment right here where you see me playing with the screen here. All right, so this is, again, from the Crime Prevention Research Center. I think John Lott, this might be his personal report, but let's check it out. So, we're talking about crime. It's gone down. Your cities are safe. Your cities are 100% safe. But there's a problem. There's a problem with this. Check this out. So this is most recent, is up to 2022. Now this came out the 18th of June. That's just a few days ago of this year. You can't see my mouse on your screen. So anyway, so here's the problem. Check this out. In 2022, now the FBI changed how they wanted data brought to them and presented them for violent crime or crime in general. They changed that criteria. So there's a lot of agencies that changed how they presented that data to the FBI, or maybe, as you'll see in this report, did not get reported at all. So look at this. Just bar graph kind of says it all in this report. That very first bar, 44% of agencies participated. 44%. Now, is that all agencies across the United States reporting crime? Doesn't sound like it. 24% participated partially in the data given to the FBI, but there was 32% that didn't jump in at all. But crime's down, right? Of course the stats are going down if 32% aren't even reporting. I'm going to link this. Hopefully I can remember to link this in the show notes. This is a big deal. This is a big deal because your lying eyes are not deceiving you. They're not lying to you. Our streets are not safer. I watched this. I know you guys know who Jon Stewart is from whatever, Comedy Central. I used to like Jon Stewart as a kid. I think he's a pretty talented guy. His political views just suck, in my opinion. He's so snarky. That's why I have, maybe because I was young and immature, that's why I enjoyed it. But now I just have a hard time watching his stuff. But he was talking about how crime's gone down, while in the background in that top quarter, there's these street vigilantes doing donuts. But crime has gone down. Has it? Look at these agencies that didn't report or partially reported. This is a big deal. It's a big deal. We'll just kind of skim through this data. I want to try and keep this show a little bit shorter than normal. Mostly because it's after midnight while I'm recording this, and I need to get a show out to you guys. I will talk about why the show's later this week than normal. Excuse me for a second. Told you. Allergies are kicking my butt. All right, look at this. New York in 22 and 21, very top. They didn't participate in giving the FBI any statistics. LA, nah, we won't worry about that. Chicago, the first 7 months were reported in 21, but they did participate in 22, so that's helpful. Houston, they did full. Phoenix, They didn't really worry about participating in the survey. Let's see, Philly, the first year of 21, they reported some of it. They did in 22. Look at this. New York didn't report something. Miami-Dade, they kind of did. Fairfax, Virginia, they did 11 of their 12 months in 21, but they did in 22. New York, nah. That Nassau County, nah. It's not. Nah. Let's not report that. We don't want to talk about it. Montgomery, they reported for 2 months in 22. San Jose, nah. Wow, we don't want to talk about the crime. Hillsborough, Florida, no, not so much. Okay, so there's a lot of these counties that just didn't participate. Didn't participate at all. No wonder crime looks like it's down. We know crime is not down. We see it on the news. Not just Republican news like Fox News. I hate Fox News, by the way. We've talked about this. I think Fox News is trash. But it doesn't matter what channel you watch. CNN will show you all sorts of violent crimes taking place across the country while peeing on your leg and saying violent crime is down. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Seriously, folks? And then they have the audacity to spew out, gun crime is at the highest it's ever been. We've had 3,000 mass shootings this year. I know, that's hyperbole. That's the word I was trying to look for earlier. I couldn't think of it. That's not what they're saying. But you get what I'm relaying across to you. They exaggerate certain things while they underestimate or underreport other things. It's an agenda. And Fox News does it too. Maybe just the other way around. Quit relying on these sources. Don't even take my word for it. Do your own research. You know how long it took me to dig this stuff up? Do your own research. Don't trust me. Don't trust any of the media. Definitely don't trust X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, or Instagram or TikTok. Don't trust any of those people. Do your own homework. Okay? If you don't know how to use Google, like apparently 99% of news organizations these days don't know how to Google things. Not that Google is the perfect resource, but at least it gives you an idea of where to start and start to dig deeper and deeper. I need to slow down. I'm sorry. I get kind of wind up about this stuff because it just drives me crazy. 24% never participated at all. Or partially reported. 32% of agencies did not report violent crime to the FBI to go into their crime reporting for the year. 22 is the most up-to-date stuff they have right now on the FBI stuff. Unreported. Yeah, crime's down. Crime's down a lot, you guys. So just take another poke and just maybe turn on View reruns and everything's fine. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. And then again, so back to that Jon Stewart thing. Maybe I'll play some of it. I just don't want to. He talks about the same thing. Well, if it wasn't for the Republicans flooding our communities with guns, there wouldn't be any gun crime. Okay, first of all, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Either crime is really high and everything's bad, or crime is down and everything's good. You can't say everything's hunky-dory, even though we've got criminals coming across the southern border, murdering, raping, and doing other things, bringing drugs, and people we don't even know, things that may not have happened yet, that will happen at some point. We won't talk about those. But gun crime, oh my hell, it is crazy out of control. And the bullshit that they tell you is that, well, if it wasn't for those damn Republican cities, Republican-ran states that just flood our communities with guns. Should we talk about that for a second? I know we've talked about this before. This actually might be a really fast show with the way I'm so wound up. Check this out. All right. Oh, shoot. That's not the one I wanted. It is this one. Boom. You got to see my browser. Oh, good thing I'm incognito, right? Check this out. Okay, this is, again, I didn't just spend time on one website. I had to look for this information that happened to bring me to the Crime Prevention Research Center. Okay. By the way, fantastic website. You get a lot of information on there. This is by Mr. John Lott, who is pretty damn smart. Okay, so you're going to hear from these anti-gunners, first of all, that gun crime is out of control. But crime is down. Whatever. How are we getting this? How it's so absolutely frustrating. It's just so frustrating. Okay, like I said, they're going to tell you that the reason why gun crime is so high across the entire United States is because things like the bump stock ban got overturned. The shoulder arm brace thing is changed. That damn Supreme Court is just letting two-way people go crazy, killing people, right? That's the narrative that's floating around. Here's the thing. Check this out. Let me transition back. Oh, boy, that didn't sound. Let me move back to the slide where you can see what's going on. It's called a transition. Just leave me alone. It's late. Oh, check this out. Well, let me move this so you can see a little better. Oh, well, would you just look at it? Okay, so John Lott went to the great lengths, so I didn't have to do a lot of research. Again, I'm telling you, don't trust me, but I am trusting John Lott because I've seen a lot of his data, and it's pretty sound. Okay, check this out. This is quite an interesting PDF that he came out with. Okay, the thing's called "Murders in the U.S. are very concentrated." Very concentrated, and they're becoming even more so. Okay, that's kind of an erroneous claim, right? Because we're told that crime is down, dude. Like, chill. But gun crime is really, really high. But crime is down, so just relax. By the way, have you seen pictures of like almost every major California street? Have you noticed that like Walmarts are closing all over the place because of theft? That's happening everywhere. Okay, okay, maybe not everywhere, but a lot of places. But crime's down. You can't go shopping. You can't find stuff at the grocery store. We've all seen videos of like New York where these dudes go in and they just take whatever they want and walk out. But crime's down. You're safe. Crime's down. Anyway, murders in the U.S. are concentrated. Is that so? That's so, because we know that it's those damn Republicans. All right, it's hard to see this PDF, but this is obviously the darker red you got is the higher concentration of murders. So first of all, let's look at these Republican states. I know it's really hard to see. I'll link this PDF. You can dig into it more. Wow, let's see. Oh man. Montana and Wyoming. Wow, like super Republican states. But I do see some concentrations of red. Anyway, let's dig in there. Look, California. Don't worry, it's safe. Crime's down. All right. Check this out. This is crazy. Murders in the United States are very concentrated. Listen to this. If you're listening, okay, listen to this. If you're here reading it, you can see it. 2%, are you listening? 2% of counties had 56% of the murders in 2020. Do you want me to repeat that? 2% of counties in the United States were responsible for 56% of the murders reported in 2020. Yeah, that's a lot. But crime's down. Crime's down, don't worry. Let's look at this distribution. In fact, this is a short report. I'm going to read this to you guys, and then you can dig it up when you get to it later. While murders and other violent crime in Los Angeles County and some other major urban areas have spread out to parts of those counties that didn't previously experience much crime nationwide, nationwide murders appear to be becoming even more concentrated into small sets of counties. When it comes to murder, there are 3 types of counties in the United States. Most counties experience no murders, a small set where there are a few murders, and then a tiny set of the counties where murders are very common. In 2020, 52% of counties with 10% of the population had no murders. 68% of the counties had no murders, had no more than one murder, and about 18% of the population. These counties account for only 2.6% of all murders in the country. The worst 1% of counties, the worst 33, the worst 1% of counties, and then parentheses, the worst 31 counties, have 21% of the population and 42% of the murders. Good grief. The worst 2% of counties, 62 counties, contain 31% of the population and 56% of the murders. The worst 5% of counties contain 47% of the population and account for 73% of the murders. But even within those counties, the murders are very heavily concentrated to small areas. This concentration of murders is the highest in over a decade. Crime's down, though. Between 2010 and 2014, the percentage of murders in the worst 5% of counties fell from 71 to 69%. But between 2014 and 2020, they had consistently climbed back to 4 percentage points. So murders were even more concentrated than 2010. The 1% of the worst counties drove that increase. The share of murders in these worst counties rose over this period, but there were no change in these counties' populations. So what you need me to translate? The populations didn't change, but the murder rate climbed. And here's a little illustration, okay? Percentage of murders by county in 2020. So look at this. That is just 5%, 73% of the murders. Gosh dang, that's crazy. Breaking down the most dangerous counties in Figure 2 shows 56% of the murders occur in just 2% of the counties. 42% of those worst 42% in just 1% of those counties. Good gravy. So 1% of the counties in the whole United States are responsible for 42% of the murders reported. But crime's down. Nose is dripping. Getting a little wound up here, folks. All right. Figure 3 further demonstrates that with a cumulative perspective, 52% of counties have 0 murders. 68% have at most 1 murder. 76% have at most 2 murders, and so on. But to put it differently, only the top 5% of the counties have 16 or more murders. In 2020, the murder rate was 5.84 per 100,000 of people. If the 1% of the counties with the worst number of murders somehow were to become a separate country, the murder rate in the rest of the United States would have been only 4.31. Removing the worst 2% or 5% would have reduced the murder rate to 3.71 or a 2.99 per 100,000 respectively. So you take out these violent counties, again, 2% of counties in the United States, we would have dropped drastically. Our murder rate would have dropped drastically. All right. How has the concentration changed over time? This is the figure again. I'm not going to explain these bar graphs because it'd be too confusing for those just listening. But this last bar graph shows, excuse me. Figures 4 and 5 show how the concentration of murders have changed between 2010 and 2020. The most dangerous 5% of counties accounted for 71% of the murders in 2010, falling to 69% in 2014. And then rising to 73% in 2020. The pattern for the worst 5% was consistent no matter how we broke it down. Okay, so it didn't matter what. It was still those 5 counties. This is just crazy. Even within counties, murders and other violent crimes are concentrated, though not as concentrated as they are across counties. Figure 7 shows the distribution of murders across zip codes in Los Angeles County, California in 2020. The worst 10% of zip codes accounted for 41% of the murders. The worst 20% have 67%, and the worst 30% have 82% of the murders. By contrast, the safest 40% of the counties have just 1% of the murders. Recent research shows that murders in Los Angeles County have become less concentrated over time, but they are still fairly concentrated. Good grief. Let's just jump down to the conclusion. Murders in the United States occur in very small areas, and that concentration has increased since 2014. The concentration in 2020 is now greater than in 2010. Few appreciate how most of these counties in the United States has no murders each year, and that 70% of the counties across account for 3% of the murders. Murder isn't a nationwide problem. It is a problem in a small set of urban areas. Even in those counties, murders are concentrated in small areas inside them, and any solution must reduce those murders. Wow. Oh, there's a little bit more, but nothing. That's just all appendix and stuff. Wait, what's this? This is important. Oh, well, look at that. There's a diagram of what counties are the worst. Thanks, John Lott. I didn't see this one in the PDF. All right. Red is 1% of the counties with the highest murder rates. Okay, let's see. Let's just go through just the red ones. Oh, Cook County. That's Chicago, number 1. L.A., Texas, Philly, New York, Wayne County, Michigan, Shelby County, Tennessee, Maricopa, Arizona, border silly. Baltimore, of course, Dallas, okay, that's probably Republican ran. Marion, Indiana, Miami-Dade, that's probably Republican. Washington, D.C., San Bernardino, probably not Republican owned. Milwaukee, New Orleans, Jackson, oh man. So very few of these, what I count, 4, just in the red ones, the top 1%. But it's the Republicans pushing guns everywhere, right? Here's the thing. They're going to tell you that Republicans are responsible for making this gun crime by pushing in guns from these free states into these small communities. These guns are coming from gun-free states, right? Chicago always says, oh, well, if it wasn't for Iowa or whatever state where the gun laws are lax, we wouldn't have this issue. Okay, here's the thing. If the gun laws are saving lives in your community, let's just take Chicago for an example again. Some of the worst gun laws in the country, or among the worst in the country, yet their murder rates are extremely high. Well, why isn't it that high in states where these guns are coming from? If it's a gun issue, wouldn't you think that the most conservative gun states, like I'm in Idaho, I think we're 2 or 3 in gun ownership per capita, we should be like empty because our gun laws are so lax. There should be no people living in Idaho. It doesn't make sense logically. If these guns are flooding in from other states into these communities, by the way, deep urban communities, gang violence, black on black crime is by far the worst. Sorry, that's not racist. That's reality. Look it up for yourself. Don't believe me. Look it up. You tell me that black on black gang related crime is not the number 1 killer right now. We just looked through a survey that talked about urban areas are the highest concentration of murders in the United States. Very small segments of these counties, 2% responsible for 56% of the murders. Chicago, Los Angeles, D.C., Baltimore. These all have high concentration of gun laws, yet high concentration of violence. But crime's down. Something doesn't add up, guys. Like, why does this not add up? You can't have it both ways. Hello? You guys listening to me? It's not a gun problem. It's obviously a people problem. Because if it was a gun problem, these high number gun states, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Texas, they should be war zones. California, Washington, Illinois, they should be the most peaceful places on the planet. But don't forget, crime's down. Yeah? Yeah. You tell that to Lincoln Riley's family. You tell that to people that live on borders, all those folks that live in Texas. You tell that to people in New York City. They're getting pushed in front of trains. You tell that to the people that try to work in California, trying to walk down the sidewalk, homeless people like crazy. I know, they're not all violent. I get it. They're just displaced. You tell that to business owners that can't keep their doors open because of theft. You tell that to people having birthday parties, dealing with drive-bys. That is not a gun problem. It's not. And guess what? Crime is not down. Nothing supports that survey other than, or nothing supports that, not survey, but that perspective other than underreported crime. People don't report crimes now because what's going to happen? What do we see in New York State, by the way? What are we seeing? Or even in New York City, I mean. What are you seeing? Somebody gets arrested. We'll just, no, same day bail. You're good. Maybe, we won't charge you bail. Off you go, back into the system. Then why would anybody report a crime if they know nothing's going to happen to the bad guy that did it? What's the point? There is no point. Crime is underreported. It's not going down. It's not rocket surgery, you guys. It's pretty damn simple. By the way, gun laws are racist. They always have been. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Gun control has been a racist issue from the beginning.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I was just admiring my patch board. I'm trying to find more space. I got a couple more patches. I got the official Range Minded podcast patch and the Perry Dangerous and Unusual patch. You know, patches have been around a long time. A lot of the cool guys have them on their kit. I'm neither cool nor high speed, so I just use a patch board. That's just the way it is. If you want to get your own Range Minded podcast patch or Perry patch, they are now available. You just have to direct message me and we'll figure it all out. And maybe you'll have a lot of cool patches of your own. Anyway, there's a new home for them. Get yours today.
If they truly cared about these inner city kids, they would actually do something about it instead of using them as a propaganda to push disarming the rest of the United States. I might get in trouble for saying that. Guess what? I don't give a shit. If they cared about the black community, they'd actually do something about it instead of spitting out, there's this many deaths today. If it wasn't for those damn Republicans. It drives me crazy. I can tell I'm a little annoyed about this. By the way, guns save more lives than they take in the United States every day. We've talked about more than once, and we'll talk about it again and again and again. There's somewhere around 1,500 to 3,000 lives saved every day in the United States. That data used to be available on the CDC's website, but they took it down because it didn't fit a narrative. I think I still have that report saved on a different computer. I gotta go dig it up. Guess what? John Lott, we just looked at his information. He looked at that too. He said, I don't believe that. That's way too high. He found out it was actually higher. Look it up. Look up defensive gun use. You might be surprised. But crime's down. All right. Let's talk about something that's been, I was going to say that's been really bugging me. You guys are probably watching like, dude, you've been annoyed this entire episode. You're right. I have been. Because stupid people exist. And here's the problem. Stupid people exist inside the 2A community. That's probably not fair. I mean, yes, they do exist. I mean, look at me. I'm here. I have a big problem with the 2A community. And I was going to let this slide. This happened several weeks ago. Not to me. I'm not going to tell you who these people are. But I'm going to give you some inside baseball on the 2A community. Now, I'm not super cool. I don't have a big channel. I don't make any money. That's not true. I made 5 cents on Rumble over the last, since the year started. 5 cents. So, hey, I guess I'm a shill. But there's a big problem in the 2A community. And I hope somebody other than me that produces content that is pro 2A is going to hear me. Not just hear me, but listen to me. There is a major, major issue in the 2A community. And we have to fix it. It drives me absolutely insane. A few weeks ago, there was I got to be careful because if I start talking about what this whole ordeal was about, you're going to just do some easy research on YouTube and you're going to find out who these two people are. Let's just say there are two people with much bigger channels than I have that had a debate on some issues within the 2A community. Just two perspectives of the exact same side of the coin. And it got super heated. The debate was completely worthless. There was nothing resolved other than I found out that there are two people that I enjoyed that have major ego issues, and it made me like them a lot less. If you are a content creator in the 2A space, check your freaking ego at the door. You are not the Second Amendment. Your perspective, honestly, means very, very little in the grand scheme of things. You might have an audience that looks up to you, that admires you, that enjoys your content. That's cool. There's a lot of dudes on YouTube and dudettes on YouTube that I enjoy. I enjoy watching. But when your ego gets so freaking large that it's all about your reputation and about how you look to your subscribers, that you throw away the purpose of your content, the purpose of the Second Amendment, your stewardship to the Second Amendment, your ego becomes so big that you trash that in the garbage because you don't want to look embarrassed. That's enough for me. Check your freaking egos at the door. We are all in this together. The whole reason I shouldn't say I, because there was 3 of us originally that started the podcast. Ricky, Mark, and I. That's going back. If you're OGs, those names sound familiar, Ricky and Mark. The reason why we started the podcast is because we wanted to create a 2A family bigger than what it was. Our goal was to create stewards of the Second Amendment. I don't pretend I'm some super cool guy. I'm not. I am a normal American that has 2 jobs, trying to survive, but crime's down, by the way, so that's good. I don't pretend to be something I'm not. Am I a firearms educator? Yeah, I have literally taught hundreds of students. That's the truth. Have I worked a gun counter? Yeah, I have. Have I been to SHOT Show? Mm-hmm. Yep. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing. Because I'm not the Second Amendment. I'm a steward of the Second Amendment. I want to bring more people into the family of the community. But here's the issue. When your head gets so large, or when your sponsorships get in the way of the goal, and you just want to bitch and argue at each other, bragging about who's got bigger whatevers, we tarnish the community when we do that. It hurts us. I know you may not think so, and maybe I'm wrong. But when you're more concerned about being right over whose whatever is more important than the other whatever, you're losing people out of the community. You're misrepresenting the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment isn't about who's got the better sponsorships. That's bullshit. The Second Amendment is a God-given right for us as humans to defend our families, our lives, and our property. It has zero to do with how much you get paid on a stupid video. Do you hear me? Are you listening? Newcomers to the community, they might get enticed by how cool your video production is. I told you, I enjoy two-way content. I do. You know what I do when I get to the sponsor portion of the videos? I fast forward them because I don't care about whatever percentage off I don't care. When we start backbiting and arguing and comparing dick sizes, we lose people out of the community. Just say, hey, you know what? I agree to disagree, and done, over with. All that energy wasted when we argue with each other over whatever stupid stuff, all that energy is wasted. Put that passion in a video. Take somebody to the range. Talk about how important it is to follow what's going on in the world. Instead of wasting 2 hours. And I know these people aren't going to see this video. It'd be awesome if they did. And they probably will know who I'm talking about when they hear it. I'm being cryptic on purpose when it comes to this. Otherwise, I'd be the hypocrite, wouldn't I? Our job is to increase the fold of the Second Amendment. As a steward of the Second Amendment, we want to help people see the importance of safe use and storage and the joy firearms bring. Along with that, we teach them the importance of understanding the Second Amendment, all the amendments. We teach them the importance of being a good citizen in the United States, being a good neighbor, being a good friend, dad, mom, whatever. Not to bring negativity to the we're already fighting for our rights as it is. So bitching and moaning to each other about sponsorships is stupid. And it shows me where your priorities, like the category of priorities, your totem pole of priorities is. Check yourselves, people. Check yourselves. It's a waste of freaking time. Do I want my voice to be heard? Yeah, I do. I do want my voice to be heard because I feel like I have something to say. I feel like there's somebody out there, even if it's one person I can save from the far left. That's one person. That's one person I can bring into the fold. I sound like a preacher, don't I? I should say family. One person to the 2A family. We're struggling as it is. We're struggling as it is. So quit it. Quit fighting with each other. In fact, do the exact opposite. You got a network. You got to reach out. You got to help each other. This is so stupid. You got to help each other out. It's not rocket science, people. Like, it's not rocket science. Okay, I'm done ranting about that. I'm done ranting about other people's content. Maybe I'm the hypocrite now. I don't know. I'm going to sound like a hypocrite by the end of the show because I'm going to ask you, if you like what you hear, please like, share, comment, whatever. But if you do like what you hear, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Again, I don't make any money off this other than the 5 cents I've made off of Rumble. It's 5 cents. What the heck? But that being said, boy, now I'm going to turn into the biggest asshole ever. If you want to buy some swag, it does help the show. I do not have any sponsors. Like, I don't make any money off of anything. I've tried. I'm not cool enough. I've tried. So, in the meantime, I'm just going to share my content. You can help me. I don't care. No, don't buy a patch. I don't care. That's not what it's at. I'm not here to sell patches. I'm here to share my love and desire for freedom. That's it. What do you want from me? Also, I haven't talked about my friend Dexter Taylor for a while. I think it's important that we share that. I'll drop in Dexter Taylor's Give Send Go. He's in I don't remember. He's in a max. He's a max security prison in New York. This guy did not commit a violent crime. If you don't understand what happened to Dexter Taylor, look at one of the previous episodes I talked about him. I dedicated an episode to Dexter. Dexter is a friend of mine. I'm not making that shit up. He really is a friend of mine. I haven't met him personally, but we've talked a lot online and stuff. I consider him a friend. And he is a political prisoner because of the state of New York. But crime's down in New York, just so you know. They'll persecute and prosecute, well, in this case, persecute. They'll prosecute a guy for not filing paperwork and having a scary ghost gun that never was fired, that never left his house. They'll throw the book at him. But when there's an illegal that commits crime over and over and over again, nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Wake up, folks. Wake up. Dexter is a political prisoner, and he needs help. His family needs help. He's got a wife and a daughter. He sentenced to 10 years in prison for not filing a stupid piece of paper. But crime's down. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks for listening to me. If you stuck around for this entire rant, I appreciate it. I really do. Again, I'm gonna sound like an asshole. If you like the show, please. It helps me in the algorithm if you like and share it. If you comment, it does really help, actually, a lot. I feel like my voice is worth something. If you feel like it's worth something, share it. I would appreciate it a lot. Yeah. Oh, I was going to tell you, quick side note. I don't know. I can't see where my minutes are at. That's probably way past. I try to keep it. I was hoping to keep it less than an hour normally, but it is what it is. I was going to have an awesome guest. It's still going to happen. The reason why this show's out later this week is we were trying to coordinate some timeline stuff. It just didn't work out. I'm going to save out like what he does and who he is for the episode, but his work got in the way, and so our timelines didn't match up. So that's why the show's later this week than normal. So there you go. But he's going to be on soon. It's going to be a rad episode. It's going to be something completely different than what you might expect. It is 2A related, but it's going to be something. It's going to challenge your thoughts. It's going to challenge your understanding of self-defense. It is going to be a rad episode, and it's going to be an important episode. I want you to be there for it, and we'll get there. We'll get there. You're going to like it. Anyways, I appreciate you guys a ton, more than you know. You tolerate my rants. So, hey, my wife doesn't listen to me, so Why not? Why not have you guys tune in? That'd be great. Anyways, appreciate you guys. If you want a patch, I know that makes me the asshole because I'm shilling for myself. If you want a patch, I had some problems with getting patches out. I have patches. Look, I got a whole box of them right here. There's a whole box of them. Oh, I just spilled some stuff. That's cool. If you want a patch, just jump on Twitter or Instagram or any of the socials. Range Minded Podcast on any of those. Just DM me. We'll figure it out. I don't have a way to sell them on my website yet because I'm retarded. I can't say that. I guess I'm delayed, mentally delayed. It's just what it is. We'll figure it out. Anyways, DM me if you want a patch. We'll figure it out. All right, go to bed, you guys. It's late for me. I need to go to bed. And so do you. Peace out. Love you guys. See you on the next episode.